ko lang po giniba ang mga mararangyang kubol ng drug lords.
Dati nang iginiit ni Justice Secretary Laila de Lima na hindi sila namili ng mga sasalakayong kubol sa bilibid. Pero maraming presong nagtataka kung bakit hindi rin nahahulugog ang kubol ng high-profile inmate na si JB Sebastian na marami umanong nakatagong luxury items.
Is no shabu laboratory inside the National Penitentiary.
Isang dekada na palang problema sa loob ng bilibid, yung pagkakabit ng pampalakas ng signal ng cellphone at internet. At heto pa, sabi po ng dating hepe ng Bureau of Corrections, noong pa man daw ay nabisto na nila yung pagluluto ng droga sa loob ng bilibid.
I have been vilified and attacked, not only in social media, but also by the president's men as a drug lord coddler and protector. I was put to task by no less than the Speaker of the House as a sitting senator of the same Congress that he leads. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre claimed that high-ranking DOJ officials from the previous administration were in the payroll of the NBP drug lords. By the previous statements of the Solicitor General and the Speaker, one does not have to be a genius to guess who he is referring to. The President's men have stood up the world on its head. Binaligtad na po nila lahat ng kwento tungkol sa maganda nating nagawa sa DOJ ni wala pa palang investigasyon. This is the Justice Secretary confused about his law school memory on how due process works. Accuse only after you investigate. Huwag naman sana silang basta-basta na lang humusga at patungan ako ng cardboard at balutin ng packing tape. Napagsasamantalahan nila ang bawat pagkakataon sa ngalan ng ambisyon at pansariling interes. Hindi natin pwedeng hayaan na magpatuloy ang grupong ito sa hangarin nilang siraan ang lahat ng balakid sa kanilang ambisyon sa kapangyarihan gamit ang kanilang pagkamalapit sa Pangulo ng ating bansa. Ang tanong lang naman nila sa sarili nila ay, what are we in power for? Tapos ko, sino po ang isusunod sa inyo na mga ahas na tumiwalag sa kanilang marcha, na hindi sasayaw sa kanilang marcha or sa kanilang musika? We cannot let anyone use the misfortune of this nation in this drug crisis to advance personal or political agendas. The 9-year-old street child sniffing rugby, or the policeman who shoots the child in the head for sniffing rugby.
7-year-old nagra-rugby, and then sasabihin niya binarel ng polis. Wala pa naman ako nababalitaan na polis na binarel ang 7-year-old na nagra-rugby.
The compulsion for more killings that have now included even the innocent.
Ko po narinig sa kanya na sabihin yung walang laban, patayin.
There are now more mistaken identities and collateral damage. As a human rights advocate and human being, I plead to the government, this administration, and to the president. There must be another way. Nais ko lang na ang ating mga pulis at iba pang law enforcement agents ay maging totoong mga alagad ng batas, na sumusunod sila sa batas habang pinaiiral ito, na tumatalima sila sa mga patakaran at pamantayan sa pagsugpo ng krimen at pagdakip sa mga nagkasala, na isinasaalang-alang nila ang pangingibabaw ng batas sa kanilang pagtupad sa tungkulin. Araw na lang po na ginawa ng Diyos mula nang maging malinaw ang resulta ng nakaraang eleksyon, na sanay na tayo ng ating almusal ay suman na bangkay at dinuguan. Nanlaban daw, nakipagbarilan daw ng agaw daw ng baril habang nakaposas. Pero alam naman po natin na minsan ay style bulok na yang mga paliwanag na yan. We are aware of incidents of police rob-outs. We know about the shortcuts taken by some law enforcers in the guise of self-defense.
But isn't that jumping to conclusions? Meron po tayong presumption of regularity. Hindi ko sinasabi na lahat yan regular, pero may presumption. Sabi niya, meron daw dapat presumption of innocence. Eh, hindi ba presumed innocent ang police? Pagka napatay niya yung pusher dahil lumaban, may barel.
The use of force, it appears in some cases, may not be necessary, or if necessary, was not proportional.
Sabi nung iba, kailangan proportional. Kopong-kopong pa ho yun. Yung sinasabing proportional, hindi na po yan ang standard sa Japan, sa France, sa Europe, sa UK. Ngayon po, nung araw po, pagka binaril ka, may yung pusher o yung kidnapper may baril, nagbaril ka rin, o barilin mo muna to main. Diba? Main. So, baril mo sa shoulders, baril mo sa hita para dumapa. Hindi na po ganun yun ngayon. Right now, pag bumunot ka laban sa law enforcers, they can shoot and they can shoot to kill. Bakit? Dahil sa panahon po ngayon ng terorismo, sa panahon po ngayon na sabog, at hindi na nasa tamang issue, nasa tamang pag-iisip, ang mga pusher, hindi mo alam kung magpapasabog yon or kung yung M16 niya, bigla na lang babarilin lahat. So ngayon, bago po ang rule. Kailangan pa rin sabihin, mga pulis kami, NBI kami, PDEA kami, ibaba ang gamit. Raid to, o kaya ito'y buy-bust operation, kailangan mo pa rin magpakilala. You have to give them an opportunity to surrender. Tama po tayo doon. At kung meron kayong mapakita na gano'n ang ginawa, na sumusurrender, at hindi pinayagan sumurrender pero barel, i-charge natin ng murder yung mga pulis.
Utterly corrupt law enforcers to kill just anyone. A 91% approval rating for the president and what he stands for is a formidable record. But we cannot base our reactions to these killings on the popularity of the president.
Never sinabi ng ating Pangulo na kapag ka may summary killing or murder ay hindi paparusahan. In fact, ang sinabi niya, patay kayo sa aking mga pulis kayo pag umabuso kayo.
Ateneo has reason to cry. Its math teacher, Emmanuel Jose Pavia, was killed while on his way home. The motive for his murder is lost in the hundreds of street assassinations now taking place.
Mali din naman po siguro, pag nagagawan mo ng storya ang mga pulis, nasasabihin mo ngayon summary killings.
We have to show the world that the Philippines continues to stand with the rest of humanity in condemning and putting a stop to any and all forms of systemic and widespread extrajudicial killings perpetrated by the state. If this administration is sincerely concerned about the spate of killings of suspected criminals, then it should welcome the Senate inquiry. However, even before any Senate resolution was filed, the Solicitor General and the PNP chief have already made pronouncements that they will not attend any Senate inquiry even when invited or summoned. The premature position of some administration officials is regrettable. The accountability of state actors responsible for this terrifying trend in law enforcement.
A privileged speaker has also the privilege to decline an interpellation.
Yun po ang pusher ang addict. So sabihin mo na po, sa bawat 1,000 addict, isang pusher, 1 pusher, 1,000 addicts. So you have 300,000 pushers. Eh ang problema po sa pushers, mahigit kalahati sa kanila gumagamit din. At mahirap sa gumagamit, marami sa kanila armado. So kung ikaw ay gumagamit, ikaw ay pusher, ikaw ay durog, at bigla kang inanong barel, ang feeling mo, hindi pulis yun. Meron tayo during the campaign, Mr. President, kung alam mo, yung isa, tatay niya ang pinatay niya. Kasi ang nakita daw niya, nung nakasyabu siya, demonyo daw nakita niya. Di niya alam na tatay niya pinapatay niya. Demonyo daw. Sa amin pong twin town, pero yumaon na yung mga tao. Anak na nakadroga, binaril din ang sariling tatay. May katungkulan po yung tatay. That's the reality on the ground. No? So, what did our president say during the inauguration? Sabi niya, Commission on Human Rights, Congress, you do your job, I do mine. Di naman niya sinabi na wag mag-imbestiga ang Commission on Human Rights. Sinasabi niya, pag nag-imbestiga kayo, tama na muna media, ilabas niyo kung may conclusion na kayo. And dami-daming violation nung eleksyon Ang tinignan yung kwento ni Presidente, di ba? Nagkaroon pa sila ng ruling. Samantalang napakaklaro, he was telling a story 20 years ago. They could have come out with a decision that the mayor, we do not agree of how he said it, but this is an incident 20 years ago. So if I tell you a story now that was 20 years ago, and I'm just telling you, sasabihin ngayon ng Commission on Human Rights, I'm politically incorrect at mali ako, etc. Ganyan. They did not need to investigate. They just had to look at the president's answer. He was mayor at that time. The same thing that's happening now. We are making conclusions because it is an emotional issue. I do not know the facts about the death of the professor in Ateneo. I hope to God, I pray to God, and if I can do anything to catch the killer, count me in. I am also an Atenean. I heard that there is an element of robbery. Kung rob out yan, kung extrajudicial killing yan, by all means. Pero the way it is being blended and weaved by the media and by some human rights group is as if eto'y utos ng Pangulo at eto'y gusto ng Pangulo. May I direct your attention, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, Mr. President at mga kababayan, to countries where there was a drug war, katulad ng Colombia. Nung nagsimula i-wipe out ang drug cartels, they turned on themselves. Marami sa vigilante killings dito ay siya din galing sa mga drug lords at sa mga drug rings in the area. Kasi sila may hawak ng ebidensya against each other. Sila magkalaban. Mismong sa mga pulis Kung yung pulis, dating protector ng drugs, at dati naman pumapatay, kung ikaw yung pulis na yon, hindi mo unahan, papatayin mo na yung drug lord mo. Kasi baka pag nagsumbong ka pa kay Presidente, pati ikaw, dali ka rin. Is the President excusing this? No. But this is an internationally known strategy that even international, I will not name them here, but international drug enforcement agencies promote intrigue among drug lords. Now, is it still murder? Yes. Should we still investigate it? Yes. But should we blame the administration and blame the police? Ngayon na ang mga drug lords hindi na monopoly, hindi nagkakaisa, ngayon na sila nagpapatayan, sasabihin po natin na kasalanan to ng Presidente. You know, one peculiar statistic that I did not hear today is that there is a 13% drop in crime. Kasi ang tinitignan natin patay yung yung human rights or bleeding hearts, who I respect, who I help out, you come to my office, tutulungan ko kayo. Pero parati ko po sinasabi sa mga kaibigan ko na ganito ang pananaw, paano naman yung mga nag-overdose? Paano naman po yung 17 anyos, 16 anyos, solong anak, ang magulang nag-OFW, iniwan ang pamilya, makapag-aral lang, binentahan ng droga, nag-overdose, patay. O yun, wala sa radar nyo, wala sa human rights yun. O, paano naman yung isang barkada na binangga ng kotse kasi durog yung driver, patay silang lahat. O, wala rin naman sa radar yun Wala rin naman sa summary killings yun Di ba? So, I know you are equally as upset. Dahil tao din kayo Meron din kayo mga kamag-anak kilala na involved sa droga na biktima din ng droga, no? So yes, let us confront these issues of killings. Let us invite the Chief PNP here. Let us ask him how they are monitoring the police. Let us ask him how they're investigating it. It's my 18th year. Alam mo, in a few weeks, we'll inaugurate only the second crime lab of the country. Panahon pa po ni Presidente Arroyo, sinisingit ko parati, trinatry ko isingit sa budget. Huwag po magagalit sa akin si Senator Ping. Hindi po pork barrel yon, kung hindi insertion or it is an advocacy that he also believes in, na magkaroon tayo ng crime lab. So, if there are some critics who said, bakit naman umpisa pa lang, hearing na sa extrajudicial killing because there are many people suffering. Bakit hindi muna tayo mag-hearing na itaas ang sweldo ng pulis? Ba't hindi mo tayo mag-hearing kung paano protektahan ng mga piskal para hindi sila at the mercy of drug lords at may additional allowance sila at kung kailangan nila ng equipment like bulletproof vest, kailangan nila yung opisina nila mas secure, ba't hindi yun ang una natin hearing? Crime labs. So, Mr. President, this is a democracy. Just because certain members of the administration are saying, hindi dapat ito unahin na Senate na investigasyon, that doesn't mean it's an attack on the Senate. It is freedom of speech. It is simply saying sa laki ng problema at dami ng problema, siguro, i-monitor natin, oversight sa human rights, pero in the same manner that our colleague is appealing, listen first, investigate first before judging her. Let me make the same appeal for our president, but actually he doesn't need it. Let me make the same appeal for the PO1s of this country. Those who are making 15,000 pesos only when the cost of living is 25,000 to 35,000 in our major cities. Those PO1s who we tell, hulihin mo ang pusher. Those PO1s who we tell na pag may barel, labas mo rin baril mo, barilin mo rin. Those PO1s who sometimes come home in a casket, or kung hindi man sa casket in the old administrations, not just the Aquino administration, in many administrations, would come home, nilabanan ang sindikato, anong baon nila pag-uwi? Suspension. At sasabihin sa asawa, wala silang gagawin. So I'm not against investigations, Mr. President, but we have limited time. Napakalaki ng opportunity natin to build this nation. So it's up to each and every chairperson. And I believe in every one of you. Ano bang uunahin ninyo? Now, if the former Justice Secretary and our colleague can come up with facts and not speculation, there are facts as in the killings. But inimbestigahan din ba niya na isa to? Or is she telling us, ayaw imbestigahan to ng polis? Kasi kung ayaw to imbestigahan ng polis, ibang usapan yun. Pero kung iniimbestigahan to ng polis at hindi pa tayo kompleto sa facts, and then we will go into that kind of hearings, it is for all of us to ask ourselves now, yan ba ang pinaka-importanting gawin natin ngayon? Yan ba ang pinaka-urgent? And let me also pose this question to all of us, Mr. President. Hindi lang naman po yung mga pulis ang nakabantay at nanonood sa atin ngayon. Nanonood ang mga drug lords. So if there's unintended consequences, like for example, I don't think the Justice Secretary intended to attack the Senate when he attacked one member. But I do know what you mean, my dear colleague, because once upon a time, I was in the opposition and I felt that an attack on me was an attack on the whole Senate. But the police are watching, the NBI is watching, PDEA is watching, the OFWs are watching, and we have to also be careful. If we think, Mr. President, na may hate campaign against the human rights, how do you think the police feel? How do you think the President feels? How do you think the PDEA, the NBI, etc.? Lahat na lang ng jokes tungkol sa politiko, sa police, at saka sa abogado. Lahat ng masasamang jokes. They're the butt of jokes. We're the butt of jokes. We have all the power and resources for image building, Mr. President. The police does not have this. So let me end there, Mr. President, and while welcoming our colleague and committing to her that we will not allow anyone to attack the Senate or destroy the Senate or to stop any senator from conducting their investigation or attending an investigation. It is also left up to us to decide what is most important, how we use our time, and it is up to us to make sure na yung unintended consequence of telling the police, tumigil-tigil muna kayo. Wala pa akong nangyayari. Lastly, Mr. President, naunahan na nga tayo ng Malacanang. Many of our colleagues here, which both of us talked to during the last 3 months, have told us, I mean, Senator Soto, Senator Recto, Senator Gordon, many of you have proposed rehab centers. You predicted. The President continues to be amazed that more than 100,000 people are surrendering. Ang problema, anong gagawin mo sa mga nagsusurrender? Mga to, yung iba user lang, yung iba addict. Yung addict, pagka walang pupuntahan, babalik at babalik kahanap ng droga. And problema, Mr. President, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, shabu is now 200 to 400% more expensive than it was a month ago. In some places, it's 1,000% more expensive, which is good news in the sense that many people will stop and cannot have money, but it's also bad news because the addicts who are violent will rob, will steal, will try to get money to feed their habit. That's why the rehab centers are also urgent. So these are the points that I'd like to attach to the speech of our colleague. Yes, let's stand up for human rights. Yes, let us not allow any unjustified killings. Yes, let us not accuse falsely or let us not accuse without a factual background any senator, but let's also not accuse the police, especially the PNP as an organization, of rub-outs until we have evidence. And when we do have evidence or we have a smoking gun or even just smoke, kung sasabihin natin where there's smoke, there's fire, let's isolate it. So if it was one event here in Pasay, one event in Davao, yun ang sabihin natin. Pero sabihin natin, yung mga polis, o alam naman na polis rub-out, no? Tayo, galit tayo pag sasabihin, lahat ng politiko corrupt eh. Tapos we will do the same sa police. Anyway, Mr. President, I bid you a good afternoon and thank you for this opportunity.
Tataka kung bakit hindi rin nahahulugog ang kubol ng high-profile inmate na si JB Sebastian na marami umanong nakatagong luxury items.
Is no shabu laboratory inside the National Penitentiary.
Isang dekada na palang problema sa loob ng bilibid, yung pagkakabit ng pampalakas ng signal ng cellphone at internet. At
the President's men have stood up the world on its head. Binaligtad na po nila lahat ng kwento tungkol sa maganda nating nagawa sa DOJ ni wala pa palang investigasyon. This is the Justice Secretary confused about his law school memory on how due process works. Accused.
eto pa, sabi po ng dating hepe ng Bureau of Corrections, noong pa man daw ay nabisto na nila yung pagluluto ng droga sa loob ng bilibid.
I have been vilified and attacked, not only in social media, but also by the President's men as a drug lord coddler and protector. Sa termino ko lang po, giniba ang mga mararangyang kubol ng drug lords.
Dati nang iginiit ni Justice Secretary de Lima na hindi sila namili ng mga sasalakayong kubol sa bilibid. Pero maraming presong
I was put to task by no less than the Speaker of the House as a sitting senator of the same Congress that he leads. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre claimed that high-ranking DOJ officials from the previous administration were in the payroll of the NBP drug lords. By the previous statements of the Solicitor General and the Speaker, one does not have to be a genius to guess who he is referring to.